The top 5 updates that you need to know: the Russia-Ukraine war. Number 1, Ukraine gives war update. Ukraine says after 3 days of Russia's war, the fighting is where it began. The Russian army has not been able to advance but is attacking Kiev. Update number 2, viewers. Fire at petroleum base in Vasilkiv. After shelling of Kiev and the outskirts, the fire breaks out at the petroleum base in Vasilkiv, 40 kilometers away from Kiev. Update number 3. There's an airstrike at radioactive waste disposal site near Kiev. Ukraine's nuclear agency says radioactive waste disposal site near Kiev hit by airstrike. No evidence of a leak so far. Update number 4. Ukraine says 198 civilians killed since Thursday. Ukraine says Russian troops are advancing from all the directions. President Zelensky vows Kiev will never give in to the Kremlin. These are the top 5 updates that you need to know this morning. We're getting you all the details right here. First on India Today. Maria joins us live now from Ukraine in just about a bit. But 5 updates we brought to you. If I could just encapsulate in a short way. Number 1, Ukraine has given war updates. We brought you those updates. There's a fire at a petroleum base in Vasilkiv. Vasilkiv, remember, is 40 kilometers right away from Kiev. Number 3, airstrike at radioactive waste disposal site near Kiev. Ukraine says 198 civilians killed since Thursday. Number 5, President Zelensky vows Kiev will never give in to the Kremlin. Maria is now joining us from Kiev in Ukraine. What is the situation this morning right there? Maria, what's going on at the moment? If you could get our viewers up to speed with the top updates coming in from Kiev.
Right, morning. Here in Kiev now we have a kind of a period of 2 hours of some rest, of some peace without any sounds of explosions or shelling. But because the night shelling started at 9 o'clock in the evening and finished just 2 hours ago when it was already 2 in the morning. And so all the time we had to stay again in shelter, in the bomb shelter, because the intelligence report announced that the shelling would be extremely tough, extremely dangerous, and the Russians will use every type of weapons they have left, and will use the heavy artillery and also missiles they have. So we did indeed heard a very powerful strikes sitting in a bombshell here in the city center of Kiev, and the reports say that in Kiev, in the city, the shelling started with artillery strikes targeted at different directions, so they were chaotic. Somewhere from the place at the bank of Dnipro River, and the videos which were released on social media show that the shelling was close to the Ministry of Infrastructure.
Ukraine is saying that Russian troops are advancing from all directions, and this is a bit worrisome at the moment. What is the stance of President Zelensky on the back of this development?
Yeah, right. So as we've seen in this video and as we've heard sitting in this bomb shelter, the artillery shelling was really very chaotic, and we already do not understand which objects they target, because first it was the list of military objects, military infrastructure, and now they're targeting the shelling even from the residential quarters of Kyiv. So that was the first major shelling at night, and then the second one was happening not in Kyiv but in the outskirts of the capital, 50 kilometers from the capital, from the city center, in the city of Vasilkiv. It's like a smaller city, a smaller town close to the capital where a lot of people live, and then they usually go from Vasilkiv to Kyiv for work and return to Vasilkiv to sleep. And there are also a lot of military infrastructure in Vasilkiv. So a military unit a small airport and a petroleum base. And after the shelling of Vessel Kiev, a fire started at the petroleum base, which is still hasn't been put down by the firefighters. And the videos showing this terrible flames and smoke have surfaced on social media, and the official report by the Kiev City Council was released that people here in Kiev should keep their windows shut because of the threat of the smoke coming from Vessel Kiev petroleum base to Kiev. But you know, it's a difficult situation because we need to keep our windows open so that we can hear the sirens, the air alarm in case they go, and we indicating that we have to proceed to the shelters. But at the same time, we need to close windows because of the threat of smoke. So
yes,
the situation is really very ambivalent. And,
so from what I'm understanding from you, Maria, the situation is rather very tense. Maria, the official figures that are out say that 198 civilians have been killed so far. Could the real count be higher in your opinion? Because you're there at the war front, you know exactly what's going on, Maria.
You're right. We have seen these numbers of civilian casualties and more than 1,000 people injured. These numbers are really disturbing. And as far as I know, as far as I see, these casualties, those who died in the attacks of Russians, looks like a number which is pretty reasonable, because the military actions are not like all over the country, but they are like on different spots, but a lot of spots. And as we've seen this bombing of the shelling of the residential buildings this morning and the previous morning, so these numbers really look like they are true. Right.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Maria. You please stay safe. We'll keep coming back to you for more and all the very latest updates.